Yo, this a motherfucking war zone. It's a war zone.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a trying new makeup video. I have a bunch of new products, but there's so many foundations. I'm trying to keep up, and I don't really do dedicated foundation videos. I've tried and it's just not something that I think you guys are really interested in. You like to see as many products as possible. So today the star of the show is the ABH Luminous Foundation. A lot of you have been asking me about that, but I also have a ton of other products. So I have the Nakia Joy finishing powder as well as her sponge. So many of you guys recommended it, so we're gonna try it on camera today. I have the e.l.f. moisturizer. This is the Super Hydrate. I picked this up from Ulta. Also have the M Cosmetics serum blushes. I picked up 2 shades, as well as the Big Daddy Carnival palette. This is the XL Pro palette. If you haven't seen this, wowzer, like it's incredible. And it has 3 highlighters, so we're gonna play around with that. Also have this by Terry Hyaluronic Acid Primer. I've tried a little bit of this, but I want to use it on camera, as well as a liquid highlighter from Pretty Vulgar. I have a new illuminating setting powder from Cover FX that we'll probably just use kind of on the forehead area. Also, I thought, why not use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. I have the foundation too, but you guys really were more interested in the ABH first. So I'm just going to try this as well as some Alamar Cosmetics lip glosses and lip liner that I bought, and a Givenchy sample mascara that I got off Sephora. So a bunch of stuff. That's kind of the main products. We might throw some here or there in, as you know. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. Zoomed you guys in, and I'm going to start off with the Super Hydrate Moisturizer with Hydrating Squalane. Is it Squalane or Squalene? Squalane. This is from e.l.f. I picked this up off of Ulta because the reviews were incredible. And I have to be honest, this packaging really kind of sucked me in. Their whole new vibe of packaging I think is really nice because they're affordable, but it's just a different look for them. I was surprised when I opened this up to see that this is a gel. I don't know if it says gel on the container, but when I hear super hydrating, I'm thinking of like a thick moisturizer. But this is a clear gel and it has no scent. What? Maybe a really light scent, but not really. I don't think that they've added a scent in there. So I'm going to use this to use as my moisturizer. I wanted to see what all of the fuss was about. It's a weird texture. I mean, it's like really just a clear gel. Kind of like, I don't know if you can see that, like jiggly. That was really gross. Why did I just do that? I apologize. It might have a light scent, but really like light. Could also be the soap on my hands. I just washed my hands. It's almost hard to pick up out of the jar because it's like a big like glob of jelly, I guess. It definitely has a tack to it, which I wasn't anticipating either. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So I don't know. We'll have to see about that. It was affordable and the reviews were really good. We'll see how it sits under makeup. I'm going to go in next with the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Primer. This says a matte finish, micro resurfacing multi-zones base. What does that mean? This filling makeup base over-concentrated in hyaluronic acid erases wrinkles, enlarged pores, and blemishes for a full correction without color. Okay, so I've used this a couple times. It's just kind of like it kind of looks like a silicone. I mean, it looks, when you look at it, like a lotion, but it has that slip to it. So I'm gonna focus this in the T-zone. I do like it. I know By Terry is very expensive. I don't really smell much of a fragrance either, so it's not overly fragrance, which is nice. I don't know if I think it's the most smoothing. It just feels like a nice kind of soft matte base for makeup. Before we go in with foundation, I want to use a little bit of this Pretty Vulgar. This is the Just Glow With It liquid highlighter. I'm going to use this on the high points of my face. The packaging is really heavy, but honestly, I feel like at this point you can get a liquid highlighter for really like any brand has them. So I don't know if I would, you know, say that you should go out, unless you like liquid highlighters like as your finishing highlighter. For me, whoa, It's a little bit aggressive. Ooh, it is pretty. They have a few shades. I really literally needed like not even half a pump because I'm feeling a little Tin Man-ish and it's like drying down. So now I want to go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I picked up the shade 270C. I'm scared, y'all, for this foundation matching. I literally feel so like confused with all these new foundations. I don't know what my shade is. This was supposed to be kind of like a cooler undertone and it is quite yellow in my opinion. I like the packaging, it's glass and it has a pump. I think this kind of cheapens it. I kind of wish they would have just not put that on there, but I don't really care. I'm just saying if I was like really kind of looking into the packaging. So it says a medium coverage foundation, luminous natural finish. So we're just going to see how we feel about it. I'm going to use the Nakia Joy sponge, the black sponge, on one side of my face, and then I might use a brush if needed. So I'm just going to pump out 2 pumps. The shade looks okay. It's thick, but still a little bit runny. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, coverage is actually nicer than I had anticipated. Shade's a little off, we'll make it work. Sponge feels nice. It almost has, kind of reminds me of the Morphe red sponge, the one that Jeffree Star kind of made into the pink one. It's definitely not a Beauty Blender like dupe, but I like how soft it is. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with the sponge because it's working. I don't feel like it's taking away the coverage. It's not, doesn't seem to be soaking up a bunch of product, which is nice. All right, so here's the foundation done. I feel like it looks good. The shade's a little bit dark, almost a little bit like greeny yellow. I think it was Cool Olive. It was really confusing, so I'm gonna use concealer to kind of brighten up the skin. It's not smoothing my texture, but it's not enhancing it. I will never really be able to tell until I set it with powder. I like the coverage. I think the coverage is nice. I feel like one layer, you're gonna get, you know, like a medium and then you can kind of build it. And I think it looks nice. It's not as dewy as I thought it was gonna be. Like it doesn't feel very like slippy, which is good. So I'm gonna go in next with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Concealer. Medium to full coverage, I got C6. Again, I just kind of guessed because I ordered it offline. I wasn't totally in love with the original because I thought it just didn't have really that much coverage. So just to kind of brighten up everything here, I'm gonna go in like that, but it feels like the same, I mean, it's the same component. I'll be interested to try the hydrating foundation. But as I said, I did a poll on Instagram and you guys were really interested in the Anastasia more so. Ooh, that's looking pretty nice. Blending nicely. I think the coverage is medium again. You could probably build it, but it looks pretty good. First impression on that is I like it. I like it more than the original because if I'm going for a lighter coverage, I want more hydration and it gave that to me. So I feel like it's gonna be a nice kind of everyday concealer. I wanna go in with the Nakia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder. So many people have raved about this, so I went ahead and bought it. The packaging is just like a typical packaging. And I like that you just can kind of dump it out. So I gotta get some tweezers here and pull off the seal. So I have the powder on and I'm just gonna go in. So I'm really gonna focus this in my T-zone where I need the most kind of smoothing and where I get the most oily. Okay, first impression on this is really nice. It's smoothing, it's light, it didn't darken any of my foundation or my concealer, so I have high hopes for this. It has a light I would say like baking scent, but it's not overpowering. So I want to go in now with this Cover FX Illuminating Setting Powder in Light. This is it's illuminating, so you don't want to use it under your eyes, you know what I mean, to bake, because then you'll be like a disco ball and your pores will look massive. So this one has a protective seal, and then the powder is under here. So I'm just gonna take some out in the cap. It looks a little bit, I don't want to say deep, but again, I would not use this to bake under your eyes. So I'm gonna take a little brush and just kind of set areas where I don't mind a little bit of, oh, it's definitely illuminating. See, this is the thing. I don't know if I love this concept, just because I feel like you would just use like a highlighter, right? Laura Mercier did something like this, and I don't think it was really well, what's the word? People didn't rave about it, because I think it just kind of gives you texture. It looks okay on my forehead. It could look a little bit dry. I prefer to keep what I want matte and then add highlight or setting spray to kind of give me the dew. So I did my brows off camera, and now I want to go into this Be Perfect Cosmetics XL Carnival palette. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is so pretty. I'm so excited. So this is a collaboration with Stacey Marie, and this is a UK brand. You get a big mirror in here, and then, are you ready for this? Look at these shades. You get 3 highlighters as well. I am just dying for this palette. I feel like this is just like, you could do anything you want to do. So I kind of want to do like a turquoise blue look. I kind of want to do like a Euphoria kind of look, because I feel like everybody's doing that. And I have these little jewels here. I think I want to go that route. So if you haven't watched Euphoria, it's really beautifully shot. Everything's really, I don't know, like the music's beautiful, the makeup is really cool. I will say I do worry a little bit, like I feel like I'm getting older, but I'm like, oh, like I feel like it gives high schoolers ideas. I know what I did when I was younger, and it was bad. Like when I look back at how old I was, I'm like, oh God, like that's cringeworthy, and I was way too young to be doing what I was doing. I think that's kind of just growing up. I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent here, but the show is really cool, but it's a lot of sex and drugs, and I'm like, is this how high schoolers are? Hopefully not, but I don't know. I think the makeup is really cool, and it's not super intricate. It's a lot of like glitter just placed everywhere and rhinestones. It's really like bright colors. So I think I want to go in, I'm going to start off with the shade Y though, right here. So the grandma in me is like, oh my gosh, children shouldn't be watching this, you know, because there's like, I mean, there's porn in there. There's a lot of, you know, weens, if you know what I'm saying, which I kind of live for, because we're so used to seeing like boobs and ass from girls, and it's like, let me see, you know, some packages here. So I just think it's beautifully done. So I thought, you know what, let's play around. I want to be, you know, I don't want to be like Maddie. I want to look like Maddie, if you know what I'm saying, if you know the character. That's one thing, again, I'm thinking of, like, people are like, oh, Maddie's my spirit animal. And I get it, it's funny and it's cute, but also she gets beat up by her boyfriend and like lies to, you know, authorities about it. And I just think it's not healthy. Like, let's not try to be, you know, encouraging that behavior, especially to teenagers. But I think it's more about how she's like really, really, really sexy, and which again, she's like a teenager. I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's weird for me, because I'm like, I feel like when I was like 21, I would have been like, yes, Maddie. But now I'm like, ooh, Maddie, you're hot, but you're really just like a hot actress playing the part. So anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent, but I'm gonna use this really light pastel shade. I just think sometimes like Instagram and all this stuff, you have to remember that children, like literally 14-year-olds, are trying to emulate this. And I wouldn't want, you know, young girls to think it's okay to have your boyfriend hit you and lie about it and all that stuff. So, but I do think the show is really cool if you're an adult and you understand that it's just a show. All right, next I want to jump into Soft Spot, and I'm just going to kind of use this to deepen up a little bit. It's a little tiny bit darker, more of a blue, whereas the other one kind of was that like aqua. So what shows have you guys been loving? feel like all my shows are not on right now and it's like making me violent. You know what I mean? I'm like, ugh. I couldn't get into, like there's some that people get into and I just can't. I'm like, I literally have the attention span of a goldfish. So it has to suck me in. Otherwise I'm kind of like, like I just won't pay attention. But I'm waiting for Ozarks to come back. I'm waiting for Vikings to come back. Handmaid's Tale is hot fire. Euphoria was really quick, but I did like Euphoria. Dead to Me was hilarious. Again, really quick though. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for, is it You? The one where he was like crazy and like stalking that chick. I like fucked up shows. Does that make me weird? Like I feel like the more jacked up it is, I'm like, oh yes. I also like murder and stuff. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I'm saying. Like 48 hours kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my God, who did it? Like what happened? Okay, I'm gonna go into Make Waves up here, which is like a bright sky blue. But I'm gonna use this just on the outer edge really. So it's gonna be pretty easy. It's more about like adding rhinestones, you know what I'm saying? Whoever did the makeup in Euphoria, like holy shit. So creative, and again, like almost grungy, messy, but like bright colors. I lived. There's a car in my neighborhood that makes me want to go outside and scream. Like I think he just drives around just to be loud. This is like the 6th time he's driven by. You're annoying. Oh my gosh. So now I'm gonna do a winged liner. You don't have to do this, but I just find that it works better for me. I have a hard time putting on lashes if I don't have a liner on. I don't know what it is, but they just won't, they don't look right. And I don't know if it's because my lashes are blonde or what. So I'm gonna use my Artist of Makeup liner pen. You guys ask me all the time. This is my holy grail. It does not dry out. Literally, this will like stay wet and, you know, black for 6 months plus. So definitely worth it. And plus it's just like so fine and so easy to use. There's nothing that beats it. Before we go in and do that though, I think I want to take just the first shade that I went in with, Why Though? That's what it's called. Just a matte shade, and I just want to add it right here. Because I do think I want the whole lid to be covered, not just like concealer. Okay, so I was going to use that Givenchy mascara and I totally forgot. I was like, oh, my eyeliner's done. Let's just put on my lashes. I don't know what lashes these are, by the way. They're huge, but that's kind of the point because they were already cut and laying around. So I want to go in with these little rhinestones. These have, I'm trying to decide what color I want to do. These have sticky, like they have adhesive on the back, but I don't know if it's actually gonna stick. I got these off Amazon. I can link them down below. But I'm trying to figure out, I think I wanna go for the kind of like creamy white ones. So I'm just gonna start out and put a couple under my lower lash line. We'll see how sticky these are. If they're not sticking enough, I can just use a lash glue. But I think I'm just gonna pop them on and just see what happens. Okay, so I feel like the eyes are done. If you haven't seen Euphoria, you're probably like, what the hell are you doing, Babs? But I'm just trying to live my high school fantasy, you know what I mean? HBO style. So I'm gonna go in with this Cheerleaders palette from Benefit. I'm just gonna use the regular Hoola to contour my face. Oddly enough, I don't have a brand new bronzer. I'm gonna go in with this Lorac Hustle and Glow palette. I really like this. I think the packaging was a little bit of a miss, but the actual bronzers in here are beautiful. So I just mixed the two. Some of you were asking me about the highlighter. The highlighter is pretty, but it's really natural. Kind of reminds me of like a NARS highlighter. So it's more of like an everyday. But I like it for more like natural days. Not when I'm trying to be on Euphoria, if you know what I mean. But look how pretty. It has like a, I don't know, like a brown red undertone. It looks so natural and it blends really seamlessly. I just don't think you can mess it up. So before we go in with that serum blush, I'm going to go and highlight. I'm going to use Fair Play, which is the lightest shade up here, just because we have the pastel vibes. I think it'll work. It almost has that kind of green reflect, but I think it's okay because we're doing, you know, this wild look. I'm gonna go down the center of my nose and blend it up. So moving on to the Cosmetics blush, I'm gonna use Pink Nectar. I'm really nervous, but I think I can make it work. So they're really tiny. Like when I got it, I was like, you are a little baby. And I'm okay with it because I feel like a little goes a long way. It does have a little dropper where the product kind of drops out of, but it's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit finicky, but I think these are so pretty that it's fine. So I'm gonna drop some on the back of my hand. Not much comes out of the dropper, but it's so small. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I got some on the back of my hand. I think these actually just restocked. The way I'm gonna use this is to put a little bit on my hand, take a beauty blender, and really stipple it in so it's evenly distributed. And I am literally using like the lightest pressure, and I'm just gonna kind of build. This is probably not the best application, meaning that I should have done it before I set, but it's definitely giving me something. I just hope it's not gonna mess up my foundation. This is probably better suited for a natural, you know, more cream finish makeup look, but honestly, I wanted to use it, and it's kind of hard sometimes, like with these videos, there's like an influx of certain products. So there's like a ton of eyeshadows and a ton of foundations, but I didn't have really many blushes, so I wanted to demo it anyways. Ooh, okay, it's pretty. Can you see that? Doesn't seem to be lifting my foundation. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised with this, especially because I set my entire face. So to make sure that everything is really blended, I'm going in literally the lightest hand. Maybe a little bit of patchiness right there, but I think it's fine. Oh, we already lost one of these. Okay, I'm gonna have to throw another one on. I figured they weren't gonna stay very well. I feel like this one's hanging on for dear life. Oh my gosh, it's in my lash. Hello. So obviously if you were wearing this like out, you definitely want to use lash glue. To make sure that these bad boys stay on. So for lips, I want to use this combo from Alamar Cosmetics. I have their lip liner in Dolce, and I really have been enjoying it. I feel like this one's like gonna pop off at any second. Both of these. And then for a lip gloss, I don't think I want to use a lipstick. I'm trying to decide which lip. I think I'm going to start off with the shade Coquetta, because these are really pigmented. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of that. These are quite thick. I think after that, I'm going to go in with Chula, just a little bit in the center. This is the lightest shade. It's gonna look a little crazy. All right guys, here's my finished makeup, and I have to say this is one of my favorite looks I've done in quite a while. We have some really, really good products here. So I'm gonna start off with the Carnival palette. It's beautiful, it blends beautifully. The highlighters are okay, they're not like mind-blowing, but for all the shadows you get in here, so many shadows. I wonder how many are actually 30 mattes, 10 shimmers, and 3 highlighters. This is a phenomenal product. You saw the pigment, you saw how it blended. I love this. I love the original. Highly, highly recommend this. Of course, I only used a few shades out of here, but it's the same formula as the other one. And a lot of times I would just throw like this yellow in the crease I'm talking about like my original, what I would do. I would throw like a yellow. I think the shades in the original, I use it a ton. They have neutrals up here. This palette just makes me want to create. It gets me going. It gets the people going. So that's a yes. The M Cosmetics blush, I can't believe that it worked over powder. I thought, okay, I just did all this work doing this makeup, and if I go in with this and it screws up my base, I'm gonna be freaking pissed at myself. But it did work perfectly over powder with a really light hand. I'm sure it would work better if you have a wet base or you use cream products. But I like that this is versatile. I can use it for both, and that's a huge selling point to me. I think these did just restock. I'll have to link them if they are, but they have 4 shades, and I'm excited to try the other ones. In terms of my foundation, I'm actually shocked at how much I like this. It is, I guess, dewy, or it appears dewy, but once you set it, it just looks like a natural skin finish to me. I don't feel like my texture is enhanced. I really like it, actually. I'll see how it wears. That's the only thing that has me a little nervous, but my first impression is pretty good. I thought maybe I would just think this is gonna slip and slide, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's gonna hang on. Also really liked the Nakia Joy powder. A lot of you guys recommended it. I figured I would like it since so many people raved about it, and I do like it. I think it's nice and smoothing. We'll see again how my foundation and everything wears, but I was impressed with this. I don't hate this Cover FX, I just don't know, because to me, I have texture, so putting on like a shimmery powder, it's a little bit counterintuitive. I like to just apply highlight to where I want it, so I'll play around with this. For me, maybe on like natural days, again, when I just want really no highlighter, but like a little bit of like a illumination all over my face, I feel like that's probably where this product would shine. This e.l.f. moisturizer, I'm a little bit iffy on because I don't even really like the way that it felt. It felt sticky to me. When I use a moisturizer, I really want something that's going to kind of sink into the skin and give me a soft feel. So I'm kind of iffy on this, but the reviews are great, so we'll see if maybe it helps with dry skin over time. The By Terry, again, I like it. I don't know if I'm blown away for the price. I feel like it's nice, but I still have others that I prefer. Again, on first impression, I'll have to play around with it more. The Pretty Vulgar, here's the thing. I feel like this would be good over powder because this dries down like that and it stays put. It's not going to slip and slide. I feel like if you are oily skin or you have oily skin but you want a liquid highlighter, you might want to go for this. You can use it under your foundation as you saw me do, or you could use it over or mix it in, but it's like a little bit goes a long way. I mean, I like did a pump and I couldn't even use half of it. In terms of the Nakia Joy sponge, I do like this. This is the black one. I like it more than the pink one, but I like both and I'll use both. I like how it has this, you know, flat edge, so I could really kind of like stamp into the skin. So I do find it really soft, comfortable, and it works really well. The Makeup Revolution concealer I like too. I think that it's really good that they did a more hydrating version, because typically medium coverage, hydrating concealers, those are really good for every day. I feel like a lot of people are gonna grab for this. I think when they claim full coverage, it's a little bit iffy. I don't think it's full coverage, but I think it's enough. And if it's hydrating, it's gonna look really natural. And I really love the Alamar Cosmetics lip liner in Dolce. I love the lip glosses too, but I do have to tell you guys, I've had an issue with a couple of my lip glosses, contacted customer service, they resent them, and then I had an issue again, just going in with one of these. So the gloss packaging is really heavy and nice. It has a nice doe foot. This is what it should look like, but it happened with another one of mine. They replaced it, and then this just happened again with the shade Dolce in the gloss. I don't know if you can see, but the stopper is stuck on the cap. So all of this liquid is all over. I'm gonna give you a close-up. I hope I don't get this all over. So there's obviously something wrong with the packaging because I've had 3 defective. It really sucks that there's an issue with the packaging because it's beautiful, it's weighted, it feels expensive, and I like how pigmented these glosses are. Now they are sticky. If you don't like sticky, you're not gonna like these, but I didn't even put a lipstick on and I feel like it looks like I did. So I'm kind of bummed about the packaging. The formula is great on these. There's just something wrong with the packaging. So that's everything I tried today in this trying new makeup video. I really love my makeup. I hope you guys do. Let me know what you think about Euphoria, what you think about all these products. Have you picked any of them up? Are you excited about them? And let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.